Morning. If you just tuned in, hi, my name is Esiodua Akomia. It's time for Prime Money Making Monday with us right here on Prime Morning. We want you to be very interactive with us on all our social media platforms. On Facebook, do not forget to hit the share button. Today on Money Making Monday, we are discussing ways and means that the youth, young people, can start making some monies. Gone was a time where parents, all that parents would be thinking about is for their children to be enrolled in schools from basic education, senior high school, through to the university and possibly even masters. But then now there's the crave to want to not only be in school, but also earn something on the side, which we term today as side hustle. And so KMJ is currently on the Unimac campus where he's going to be in conversations with a few students. But before that, joining us on Zoom is Mr. Geoffrey Kabutey Ocansey, Executive Director, Organization Revenue Mobilization Africa. And we're going to delve more into this particular topic. If you can hear me, Mr. Ocansey, hi, good morning. Can you please unmute?
Good morning and thanks for having me, and a good morning to your viewers and listeners.
Right, thank you for joining us this morning. Now there's the heavy desire for young people to want to be making some money while still in school. A number of them even see it as it is more important to make some money than going after education. Now, from the position that you hold at the moment, and from your perspective, what would you say in relation to this?
Well, I think it might have attracted some skills over time. That is maybe, because of development and the trends of perceptions. But it's always been there where people have had to fend for themselves. Yes, so I mean, it's not new, but it's just hiked because of the growth in population and also the circumstances around the people. There are persons who actually have no option. They are not lucky to have parents around. They may have parents around, but the home is not actually sized enough to be able to take care of them. For example, if you come from a family of 7 and you are the firstborn and you are in the university, and your parents have 6 other wards to take care of, you might find yourself in a situation where you have to do some of these side hustles to hold yourself
especially
in. So that's a domestic arrangement where you find yourself. You could also...
Especially if you're firstborn. Because automatically that responsibility just comes on you. Yes.
You even have a responsibility to actually even support your parents to take care of your younger ones. There could be another situation where the parents are helping, they are pumping in some money, but then inadequate support. I mean, we're talking about a country where people who are working are paid as less as 1,000 cedis or below. Even some are paid below the minimum working wage or wage salary. And then also, those who are also, both parents, you can accumulate their salaries and it could even be below 1,500 or 2,000. In a country where rents are high, cost of living is a bit higher compared to other African countries in the sub-region. So indeed, a young person, in fact, when you are going by the United Nations definition of a youth, you are looking between ages of 15 to 25. But Africa, because of our delayed development, there is a scale of age between 15 to 35. Even within this bracket, there are young adults who have to take care of themselves. They may have lost both parents or have migrated to where they find themselves schooling, and so they are on their own automatically. And so these are circumstances that could lead to the person wanting to, engage in side hustles. Some also have both parents, they are being supported, but indeed, by positive thinking, they also think that, look, they start the age of independence, doing some of these jobs to be economically independent, to get some of the things they need academically and social, some of the demands that they need for their own development. So these are the reasons why you find some of these young people indeed engage in economic activities. And how to do that will be through savings and investments.
Now, that will lead to my question of savings and investments for a youth, somebody very, very young, still in university. You mentioned that here in Africa, Ghana, for instance, when we say youth, between the ages of 15 to 35. So somebody between, somebody late teens, getting to early 20s, how much could I possibly be earning that I would start saving just so that I can get something for future emergencies?
Before we proceed, let me tell you the factual truth. Sometimes I like to start with reality.
Okay.
There are some people, because of their expenditure that has proved on them, they cannot save. Let's accept that before we move on.
Okay.
There are some people, because of what they get, like you rightly said, maybe by their arrangements, domestic chores and things that they do, they are all stuck into work in the home, quick work in the academic field, and they have to return home. And they might not have some loose minutes or hours to do any other side jobs.
Yeah.
For these persons, what they are getting from their parents may be the only thing that they are getting, and it's so tight that they don't even have loose ends to look at. So some of them may not be able to save if they don't, still strive to, get any help from other corners. For them, saving becomes very difficult to do. But, rightly said, we need to know some of the things that even teaches them or leads them into the saving.
Okay.
More like something to say their individual decision. Okay?
Okay.
Peer influence could be, mentoring could be, like you are doing wonderfully with your station platform this morning.
Thank
and
you.
then counseling can also be another option. In church, some of these things are taught them, that you need to save something for tomorrow. Biblically, you can have the teachings of savings. When 3 people were giving money, one was giving more, other medium, and then other very little. He pushed his under the bed, and some of these teachings are there to tell you about investments. They need to save for tomorrow. So indeed, there are all these things that can come to play. Unfortunately, among these young adults, it is important to know that in the face of even these limitations, there could be challenges, temptations to not save. I mean, some lifestyles, for example.
Yes.
Because as we speak, there's a young person who actually will drink beer, smoke shisha,
yes,
buy vape, and buy expensive food. I'm quoting expensive food in this bracket. They will see, I'm not saying young people shouldn't eat fried rice and chicken in the big restaurants, but I'm saying, for example, some strive to even get it.
Yeah.
Just to belong. Some of them want to use iPhone 18, whatever 19, whatever people talk about. They just want to belong. So they want iPhone 14. At the end of the day, all these things could stretch you and prevent you from saving. So lifestyles can also prevent you from saving. But indeed, it is important that when you put the act of saving in your life, it gives you opportunities. How do they do this? It's very important. Do your own initiative, your thinking. That, look, I need to save some money. Peer influence, like I told you. And sometimes the circumstances around you will push you to save, And so, indeed, when you take all these factors and you decide to save, it's the best for you. I mean, you save not because, just all these circumstances, but then you save to also prepare
for the future.
I mean, exactly. So if all these are taught you, it pushes you to stand firm and see the need to save some monies.
Okay. Geoffrey, if you can hear me, if you can kindly reposition yourself, because we're having a few challenges with the network connectivity. Or would love for you to adjust something. I don't know how exactly you would do it, but you were breaking up. Anyway, so I was being joined on Zoom by Geoffrey Kabutey Ocansey, who's the Executive Director, Organization for Revenue Mobilization Africa, and we are talking about how young people or the youth in general can start making money. Okay, so Geoffrey's back. Geoffrey, can you hear me? Hi, Geoffrey. Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, great. I can hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, please.
Right. So this act of gradually putting away or aside some money, it could be defeated by your expenses. I mean, if you decide to create too much expenses for yourself, But indeed, good planning is needed to maintain the balance between the formal training and then the income generating activity that you would like to adopt if you want to make some money and save some money. Do you get it?
Okay.
And so indeed, if you could, I've had some of my friends that some good personalities. They've mentioned how they were doing business back on campus. You know, on campus back in UCC, some of our students were owning the photocopy centers.
Yeah. Okay.
And some of them were doing research work for their colleagues.
Yes.
Others were actually there selling pure water, egg, and the rest.
Right.
And others were actually there also, you know, running errands, quick errands for food supplies. One such fellow who said this boldly and wrote it on his Facebook wall was Imani director Franklin Kujo, who was my mate in Pope John.
Okay.
He actually mentioned that back in the university, he had to use his cycle to supply food to his fellow students.
Some would even go as far as you paying them if you want him or her to do your assignments for you. So it becomes like a business that a number of them were doing on campus.
Exactly. So indeed, like you rightly said, I have a friend, may he so rest in peace, Pinches, back on Lagos campus about 2 years ago during his vigil. Some of the students remembered how he actually went to the Katamanto market to get used clothing, wash them and iron them and sell them.
Wow.
I had a mate back in the university. One day we thought he was joking. He had a phone and another colleague liked the phone, a 3310. And then he said, look, he can sell it right there and then. Then he sold the phone. 2 weeks time, he came to Accra and bought another one. So indeed, it's actually, you know, an area where students take smartness to make their money. You want it, they know who sells it. And, you know, it's not all these businesses that you have to first put your money or huge monies. Okay?
I was going to ask about that.
Exactly.
Yes.
So your capital, I mean, sometimes when you hear somebody say, I started my business
with 300 cedis,
or 50 cedis or 300 cedis, then people will be laughing at the fellow.
Yes.
Indeed. For example, if you had a bicycle you were not using and the gentleman came to beg and you gave him the bicycle and then he actually went to repair it at the cost of 60 cedis or 15 cedis and started this food business, I'm telling you, on campus, that is how the business started. If the person had to go to town to take a laptop and the transfer of that money of 20 or 30 cedis into transport, took him to where he took the laptop from and came to campus and sold it to a friend and made 300 cedis and started business from that end onwards. He started with 30 cedis. So you might be mocking the person.
Yeah.
But if a person did a good planning and the person indeed used the smartness he or she had, that's how they get it. You know, ladies' lingeries. I had a friend who started selling with the code Dross Balls.
Okay.
And to be funny, you can call it funny, but I mean, he got out of job. He started the Dross Balls for some time. He got his points from that one.
Right.
Indeed. How much capital do you need? Ladies, Andy's at the time was around 4 cedis, 5 cedis, 6 cedis, and 10 cedis.
Okay.
And he was actually making money from that. He bought it, and because he was a male selling it, it tickled. It was funny. But, you know, he used the ticklish side of it, the funny side of it, and he got
the ladies buying
for him. And that was a starting point on campus.
Right.
That is his story. So indeed, you need to take some risk. Indeed, you need to take shed off some of the risk being you shed off some of your academic time, but make room for it. And indeed, engage in this business and then move forward with it. And that's how he did. Good planning indeed helped. You know, you make sure it doesn't interfere in your formal training. Yes. You know, and it's not only for the university. I would like to jump around a little bit. Some of these people who are in the informal training sectors, you know, who are learning phone repair and the rest of the things on the field, you know, they can all look at other options of making money. You go to TikTok Lane, you are learning skills in phone repair. At that TikTok Lane, they are selling earpiece and everything over there. In your neighborhood, can you buy the earpiece and come and offload to some people who want earpiece at cheaper cost? In your area, it's sold at, let's say, for example, 30 cedis. At that TikTok Lane, it's sold at 10 cedis. You can make a 5 cedis or 10 cedis if you're able to purchase it and take it to your neighborhood and sell to the people, or if even you can't purchase. With trust, social capital, you can get the 10 of it and then go and sell and make some coins. I can tell you my story. I used to play lawn tennis at Nautica. Then a friend, his uncle brought lawn tennis rackets, about 10. He didn't know what it was worth. Quickly, I took the 10 rackets, I sold the rackets off and made my profit. Nice. And that's one of the things that I put in my bank account at Intercom, International Commercial Bank, that those days at Makola. That's how I started my banking, you know.
Nice.
So interestingly, several ways people can start saving some money. But I told you, you have to check your lifestyles. People can cut expenditure. Young people can cut expenditure by cutting down their alcohol intake, the shisha, vape, their clothes. I mean, you want to have about 6 or 10, 20 clothes. I saw a video of a young girl displaying some of her clothes and the shoes she had back on campus. And the video went viral. And I was like, really? You need all these clothing on campus to go to school, go for lectures? You know, so indeed, some of us, I mean, we sit back and we're like, look, jams, nightclub, you know all those nightlives.
Yeah.
They're expensive. You want to go to, you want to take a lady on the date, you are thinking about Kempinski, all these are expenditures. Now, let me tell you what, after saving, what you use the money for is another risk area or another jump area. So, for example, you want to save all the money. We are upping for you. We did this program and you learned from here. And you saved all the money. Your target is what is important. Are you targeting to invest it or you are targeting it to retrogress? Retrogress how? Buy an iPhone 13 or 14 with it and go and load it on it. Is that what you wanted? You save all the money, cut down on your expenditure.
Just to buy a phone.
You're not going for club again and you make some money and then you want to go and buy a vehicle that you're not going to be commercially investing in it. But then you're rather going to use it, you know, for the normal go around and show around. You're going to be buying fuel into this vehicle. That is where you have saved, but indeed, the end point didn't go into investing what you have saved. So that's properly targeting.
Geoffrey,
very important.
Before you continue on giving us what to do after the savings, can you help us understand also how they can identify these opportunities?
Right. So the opportunities is about targeting properly and ensuring that you look at what people consume where you find yourself.
Okay.
Their very needs, like water. People will drink water anyway.
Right.
If you have a fridge and you can freeze some water and sell it on campus, that's your take. Like food ingredients, like the easy ones, like eggs, you know, that people were selling on campus. They get the crates. And I visited, you know, my niece on campus, and the egg crates that the roommates had, I was like, is it not going to choke the room? I was worried, and I was like, in the space of about 25 minutes that I was standing there, she had the sub-distributors who actually came for 5 crates, 3 crates, 4 crates, and about the 50 crates that were there got finished in a flash. So you have to create the opportunity by looking at who needs it, where it will go quickly when you get hold of it, and the reliable, you know, the reliability of those who are taking your supplies is also very key because the risk you are taking. So, I mean, you need to be smart and look at how, and be measured in taking your risk. Be very measured. That's some of the things that are too high for you. Yes. I mean, be careful. I mean, like cars, motorbikes, and things, they are all sold on campus. Yes, I know. But be careful. I mean, these are very high risk areas. If it's a laptop and it's a used laptop, it's around 500. You've made some savings. You have about 600 in your back room to face for shocks. You can go and take the 500 laptop, sell it to somebody, and make 800 cedis. 300 comes in. If he delays in paying, you can go and make a patch payment of about 300 cedis to who gave you the laptop while you are waiting to take the money from them. So managing your risk, you should work within where you can absorb the shocks, you know. So it's very important to, and then look at beyond the campus people who need ABC, look at how you can connect outsiders to the campus people.
Okay.
You know, if there's an event you can organize and you happen to know Chetawale's cousin or Stoneboy's cousin, and you can go and talk to your planning committee of entertainment, blah, blah. I'm going to bring Chetawale's cousin and we are going to get this X amount. And they can tip you a stipend from it. That's it for you. There were students on campus who were actually travel agents when I was in UCC.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yes. They targeted this. There was this program, Saito and the rest, and they could put students on it for people to come and grant them, opportunities like give them interviews on it. And they were the ones who were coordinating it. Some of us, were careful with those ones, but then we saw our mates make money from them, arranging bank statements genuinely from their parents and their relatives for some of these students. They did some of this, fast documentary works, and they make their money from it, right from the classroom work, like photocopy centers. You can have, if you have a cousin, a father, a guardian who can get you a photocopy, you can talk to your hall administrators, and you can properly get a place in the hall to place it. Look, you can be running your photocopy center. It's about 3 or 4, and sometimes the Ghanaian attitude of one man do is what I want these young people to actually fight it. I mean, They can come together, about 3 or 4 or 5 of them. They can put their monies together. Again, risk taking. Be careful who you are bringing on board.
That's true.
I mean, you need to know who and who to do business with. And then all of you can put your money together and then get to rent this space and then use the photocopy system to start with. As you go ahead, you may start giving services. I am talking from experience, Xerox. There was a center within Casford Hall. One of our mates, some of them started these things and they went somewhere with it. And, rumors have it that Honorable Muntaka, when he was on Tech Campus, he was actually running photocopy centers, and these were wonderful people who were on campus making their coins. So indeed, if you were able to come together, about 2 or 3 or 4 of you, and you got to buy 1 or 2 of his machines, you can run them whilst you're running a photocopy center. Get one gentleman who's also interested in research works, sit there and start, assisting others in their research work. And you can be an intermediary to some of this. There are some workers who are on campus who are schooling, and they might not have all the time to do their research works. If you are good with it, you can assist them, put the documents together, they will read through, and then see if you are taking them to the direction they want to go. And you make your points, you make some stipends out of it, and then you can save all these monies. So there are opportunities within. You see, the university is a whole community. It's a big town.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you do things well, you just have to follow the rules. Like we have accepted that it's a big community. It also means that there are rules. So there will be a hall master, there will be the hall executives to deal with, and then to know where to put it if it's within the hall. If it's outside the hall, the SRC it can have the booklets to guide you how you can run some of these centers, and then you can do it at the SRC hall, offices, or maybe run it in some part of the school where the estate department of the school can assist you to run this department, businesses. But indeed, the easy ones will be the everyday go ones. You can be selling the notebooks, the pencils, the pens, to your mates here and there, quickly. There's a textbook that you need for a course. It's, let's say, $650, as they know it. You know a place you can get it for $500. You don't have to sit down. 150 Ghana cedis or 100 Ghana cedis is a lot of money. If you got 10 copies, it's 1,000 cedis for you. And so that's what you can be taking advantage of and ensuring that, look, I remember there were some colleagues of ours who used to organize buses during vacations. And they made some monies from them. And excursions, beach trips. So this tourism thing that you are looking at, exploring. If we started on campus, by the time they complete, it will have automatic, naturally tested tour agents who have gone through school already. So it's a very good field, and tourism is one of the big areas that Ghana has not explored to the fullest. And when I say tourism, the usually people look at tourism. The moment you mention tourism, they look at foreign participation. Not that alone. How many of us have been to all the 16 regions in Ghana?
Ooh.
You barely will get people who have actually been to 5 regions.
Yeah.
People don't even know their own hometown in Ghana.
That's true.
Ironically, true. And it's sardonic that we don't take advantage of all these. There will be a city, whatever, bars thing. You can see people saying this is the first time they've gone to here in this place. Joy FM would have a program in Accra, and we are all here. And some people will travel all the way from Kumasi and things to come for the 90s jam. All these entertainment things. What are the students doing? Are they also going to be taking advantage? to come and sell some 1 or 2 things by talking to the administration of Joy FM that, oh, I have woven some ABC and I would like to, sell it during the program. I'd like to put Joy emblem or something on it, and then you take this percentage and I get this percentage.
Yeah.
Like I told you, partnership is a great way to go. So all these things that students must think about is very important. If they do this, look, there are smart ones amongst them. They are able to, even sell fridges, the electronics and other things. They are also able to do works to get some coins. Like even most of the time, most of these ladies who do during events, they usher.
Yeah.
Can they also take advantage and establish their own ushering firms? Walk to the GRA, if you are in Legon, walk to Okongro and ask them if you want to do, what taxes are you to pay. Go to the Registrar General's Department. Your colleagues also have done some research works. Look at how you can start some junior businesses. It's going to be wonderful to see them take over, with little ones like, food. Some of them sell food on campus. I know a gentleman who was doing check. And he got a lot of money. So really, they don't need to be standing there and be doing it. They can get somebody to do it while they use their links among the student population to distribute this, production line. So indeed, it's important for them to look at clothing. It's a wide range of opportunities, but they should look at some of the things their colleagues need there and there on campus, like the basics, the necessities, the needs that they use by the day, and then take advantage of the other ones that they can explore within, outside their community, like this ushering I mentioned, this trips that they can organize, and all these ones can give them opportunity to make some coins, and indeed, the coins can be the startup, and it's also a beef up. It's an encouragement. If you ask some of the giants who have been in business, look at this gentleman who is doing the Pinkberry thing.
Yeah, where he started from.
It's a campus.
Yeah.
And this is a very intelligent young man. But with a good grade. But he said, look, I'm going to take 2 things here. I have my certificate. So at least my IQ, I know the student population, I know the consumption rates, I know how this pizza is selling on campus already. I will take the giant leap after school. And he did. And that's where he is. That's his story. So young people in Ghana should look at these wonderful people who started back in school and how they've gotten forward with these, things that they started doing back on campus.
Geoffrey, I want you to kindly say something on this one in particular for me. Now, we have a number of people, and most especially on social media, where we see so many stories about what is going on, what some of the things that some youth are engaging in. And then you have some adults come out saying that the youth of today are lazy, or and then all of that. I mean, from your office, from your position, what would you say in relation to that? Looking at the youth of today.
I have said this, and I'll say this today, as I praise the many young people, even like yourself, who is actually working hard.
Yes.
As I praise all of you and endow my heart to all of you,
okay, I
would quickly also go back and say some are shaming the youth front.
Okay.
And I was tempted, and I still continue to say that there are unemployable youth who shame us. They change work like the way they change their clothes. Because they don't want work.
Yes.
Look, I have videos because I'm a youth inspirer, and I've kept some of those videos just to advise myself, not to bring them out. I have videos that I visited big supermarkets, and I met young ladies who were plaiting a colleague's hair.
Okay.
At a sales point in a big supermarket. Yeah, in a mall. They actually were chatting in groups. I have pictures of those ones. And I've been to filling stations where I've seen at that fuel pumps, you go and there are about 6 channel stations, and there are about 4 or 5 of them around one, and they're just chatting. I don't know if you've seen them. They do that. And then they'll be chatting. And sometimes you get to a department within this mall, and then the other one will tell you, well, they are not in charge of this one, so they'll call the other colleague.
Yes.
They don't even listen to you.
That's true. That's very true.
To start it.
Yeah.
I mean, and it hurts. And so you have now seen in some of these supermarkets, the Lebanese have got their own fellow Lebanese to come and manage things for them. And you not understand it if you don't want to understand it. But the truth is that the reality is the reality. Some of the young people have also decided that they'll just, slay around. They call themselves slay queens. But let's not confuse the two. There are some of them who also do this for content. Some are doing content
because they are making money online with it.
Yes, and so they come online and do all those things, and people are not aware, but some of them are making good money with this, staying on the content production, decent ones, of course, indeed, and then engaging in good discussions. I think all these things will give them some points, but indeed they are the ones that don't want to work at all, and for them they have engaged in fraudulent activities and the very, very shameful activities.
That's true. That's true. All right, Geoffrey, thank you so much for your time this morning. This morning, it has been highly informative, highly educative. So I was just joined on Zoom by Geoffrey Kabutey Ocansey, who's Executive Director, Organization Revenue Mobilization Africa. And today we've been speaking about how young people, especially those in the universities, can be making some money on the side whilst in school. Even some of us who are working, we still have some other things that we are doing to be getting us some monies on the side. And even the Bible stamps it. The Bible makes it known to us that we are supposed to, we have to have multiple streams of income. I think somewhere in Ecclesiastes chapter 11, verse 2. Yes, you can check it out. Anyway, so that's it for this one. Before we go away, our baby, Big Chef Junior Season 4, yesterday on Sunday was Father's Day, and the 10 contestants celebrated Father's Day in their kitchen with their fathers, where they cooked jollof rice using products from Gino. And then there was an ultimate winner, which was Raziella and her father. They came out as the star chefs for the week. So that's exactly how Big Chef Junior celebrated the Father's Day in the kitchen yesterday. For 2 weeks now, there has been no eviction. But trust me, this coming Sunday, eviction will continue. And so if you do not want your favorite to go home, you have to pick up your phones right now and dial *711*60# and vote for your favorite. Because next week, Sunday, 2 contestants out of the 10 will be saying goodbye to the competition. So please, *711*60#. It's all about Big Chef Junior Season 4, airing every Sunday at 4 p.m. sharp on Joy Prime. Before I go away, also, let me say a huge thank you to Queenie's Bakery. Queenie's Bakery has been providing us and our guests some delicious breakfast meals. And so thank you so much, Queenie's Bakery, for holding us down each and every morning. Let me do my best to get their phone number so that you can get in touch with them. It is 0244-362256. 0244-362256. They are located at Addy Junction near Macedonia Methodist Church. Queenie's Catering, Decor, and Events. Thank you so much.